What's up, it's the Fragrance Apprentice. It's a very beautiful evening out here in Britain, so I decided, and it's probably going to be one of the last ones that we have as we go into autumn winter, so I decided to do a little video out here. This is my 10 niche indie fragrances that I couldn't live without, and I'd have to chuck the rest away, whatever it is. But yes, these 10 fragrances I could not live without. I wouldn't be able to handle my fragrance collection without them. These are must-haves in my collection. But because of that, there's going to be a word of warning to you. If you're somebody who has been with me since potentially the dawn of the channel, or you've been with me for at least a few years, this is going to look like every single Fragrance Apprentice top 10 list that you've ever seen, or at least seasonal top 10 list that you've ever seen, and there's going to be a lot of deja vu. Now, my statement to that would be, obviously, right, that's a good thing, because that means that I actually really care and love about all these fragrances because I've mentioned them time and time again. So if you have been around for a while, this is going to look pretty repetitive to a lot of my other lists. You have been warned. But to new subscribers, and there have been a lot of them over these past 3 weeks, this could be a great introduction into my taste as a fragrance reviewer, and you could find some really interesting things. So let's get started with number 10. So number 10 is from the house of Vernie Parfums. It is Oud Rain. Now, the one thing that this fragrance doesn't have that the other fragrances in this list have is one thing and one thing only, and that is time. I've had a lot more time with these other fragrances to invest my emotions, invest my experiences, invest my love into them. This, I've only had this for just over a year, and believe me, that's quite a short period of time, especially when you have over 150 fragrances. This can sometimes get overlooked or whatever, but I'm going to say that this is truly a masterpiece. I think that Vernie has yet again done something incredible and something fabulous. It uses oud with mango, which when I first heard that sounded absolutely preposterous, but he did it incredibly well. It smells like a tropical rainforest. It reminds me very deeply of when I went to India and did my yoga retreat. There's a lot of fond memories of this fragrance with that, and it's just got so many different interesting and unique elements to it. It's been something that I've been trying to figure out for a long while, but I truly think it's a masterpiece. It's a vision of art. It's incredible. Vernie has done it again. Number 9 is from the house of Tom Ford. It is Tobacco Vanille. I have said many times how much I love this. It reminds me of a lot of different types of desserts and treats that you can find around about Christmas time at Christmas markets, European Christmas markets. So I have a real fondness for it. I think that it's incredibly unique. It was so unique at the time. There never was anything like this before Tobacco Vanille, and now there's lots of different indie fragrance houses that have things that of similar ilk, but this is incredible. A really brilliant fragrance. I'm looking forward to do a review of it very soon, but it's sweet, it's wild, it's fabulous. It's Tobacco Vanille. Number 8 is another vanilla fragrance. I do love my vanilla fragrances. This could be quite a controversial pick for some people because I know that there are people who really do not like this. This is Acqua di Palma's Mondo de Cecilia. This is a very creamy, fluffy vanilla that has a lot of floral elements to it. Some people find this too feminine. They find it a little bit too girly. To me, this is quite a refreshing vanilla, a solid ice creamy type of vanilla that I can wear very easily on spring. You can see how much I've used of it, and that is because for me this has become a spring staple. I wear this all the time when it comes to the colder days of springtime. It just gives me a refreshing pep. I did a review on it, you can go watch that, but it's fantastic. I will have to get myself a 125 bottle of this because this has only lasted me 3 years, and that might sound like a lot of time, but when you have a fragrance collection that is very big and expansive and you're buying fragrances all the time, to have used this much in 3 years, that's pretty impressive. Number 7 is from the house of Creed. Of course, they would have to be in here. This is Royal Oud. Wow. You know, it's funny because going back to that Mondo de Cecilia, I did mention that's a bit feminine, it's a bit sensitive. And I'm not afraid to say that I can be a bit feminine, I can be a bit flamboyant, I can be a bit sensitive, and you know, that's all cool, but sometimes I need to harden up, sometimes I need to mean business, sometimes I need to get rid of the sensitive exterior, and I need to look straight in the face of somebody and go, look, this is how it's going, this is how it's going to be, and you know, this is how we're doing it, and be a little bit more authoritative and a little bit more standoffish. And if I need to do that, if I need to be in that place, then Royal Oud is completely the best fragrance. This can put me into a more masculine state of mind. I can feel a lot more of an authoritative energy when I'm wearing this, and any fragrance that is composed that can do that really needs to be looked at as something very special. It's very peppery, it's very strong, it's very bold, it's a work of art, and really amazing. So this is Royal Oud by Creed. Number 6, you know, autumn is starting to come in on us very quickly, so I'm definitely going to need this fragrance. This is Keist from the House of Slumber House, a fragrance that really changed everything for me in my fragrance journey. It changed the definition of what fragrance should be. This is just so rich and so oily and so cumbersome. It's huge. It has a huge scent cloud. It's unlike anything I've ever smelt. The way that Josh Lobb creates these fragrances, he creates something that's so unique, such a deep, unique experience. It makes a lot of the other fragrances that I have in my collection seem watery, seem light. These are very, you know, dangerously high intensity in their fragrance yield, if you will. They're very oily. They stain. If I was to spray this, which I won't because I've got something else on, if I was to spray this right here, you would see a stain mark from the juice. These Slumber House fragrances are no joke. They will rock your world if you are a fragrance enthusiast. So that is Keist, the wonderful, magnificent Keist by Slumber House. You know it's going to be on my awesome list of 2019, but where will it be? Well, you'll have to find out. Number 5, we go back further in time. Keist was something that really changed my perspective on fragrance, but before that, this did. This is Citiver from the House of Duetto. My goodness, I have used quite a lot of this, haven't I? A very tantalizing, emotional response is what you get from me when I smell this. Please, if you're new to my channel, if you are one of the new subscribers that have come into this Fragrance Apprentice world in the past few weeks, I implore you, I ask you as a friend, please go and watch my Citiver review. It's the first ever review where I started to make things a little bit more cinematic, a little bit more filmic, and that was such a beautiful barge trip, and I just remember it. Those were very different times. They were very lovely times, and it can actually be bittersweet when a fragrance can remind you of a moment or a period in your life that you know that you're never going to get back. And Citiver does that for me. It's why I actually don't wear it as much, because it has just so many emotions attached to it. But I do wear this occasionally, still in the spring, but because of what I just mentioned, it has put me off a little bit. But I still love it. I still think it's an incredible springtime fragrance, one of the greatest springtime fragrances of all time, if you just ask me. It's a shame that more people don't talk about it. Number 4, you know, for a fragrance this simple to do this well, you know, at one point I would have never have thought that, but this fragrance is, well, you probably know what it is just by what I've said there, but it is Maison Francis Courtejan's. This is Aqua Universalis Forte. It just has everything that I need out of a clean, sprightly summer scent. There's not really any gimmicks. There's not really anything with too much. There's not too much, there's not too little, and the oil content gives it that punch. It's an incredible fragrance, so well rounded, so well done to create something so simple but with such impact. Really is just amazing. Francis Courtejan, like I said in previous videos, I think he oversaturates his own market. I think that he does so much that he becomes hit or miss, but yeah, this is just so lovely. I love wearing this in the summertime so much. This was yet again on my summer list. In fact, I believe this was number two on my summer list this year. Incredible, absolutely incredible. And well, this is the first time you've heard this. I might as well tell you, I'm going to be going living with Timmy Imagine Sense in January for about 3, maybe 4 weeks, and we're planning a trip to California. I wore this a lot the first time when I was in California. I have great memories, so I've reserved this to do a review on it in California, in potentially even Los Angeles. That will warm my cockles very much. I'm very excited. I hope that you are too. Number 3, I don't know if this is allowed really, but I just can't. These two are my children, these two are my babies. I cannot separate them. I would have to have both of them for a similar but different reasons, especially if you've seen the review. I love them so much, I cannot separate them. I would have to have them. So number 3 is a tie. It is Fève Délicieuse and it is Kisses Rain by Vernie. How about I put it the right way around? That's one, then you can see it. Look, these two are very powerful fragrances to me. I love them so much. Fève, I'm running out. I hope it hasn't been reformulated because I'm gonna have to get a 250 of this ASAP. A brilliant. They're both incredible romantic fragrances. They remind me of something that I could imagine that Casanova would wear. Romantic poets, painters of the Romantic era would be inspired by these fragrances. They just have so much about them. They're just so amazing. Fève Délicieuse is my number 1 winter top 10. Kisses Rain is usually my number 2, but they're inseparable because they have that romantic style, that fluorescent, that beautiful, that everything is wonderful, everything is romanticized, everything is beautiful, everything can be seen in wonder, but they go about it 2 very different ways. This is very friendly, very happy-go-lucky, but this is kind of a daredevil, this is kind of a pirate, this is a bit of a philanderer, this is a bit of a rogue, and so they have both those elements of that kind of personality but split off into 2 very different sections. They're both masterpieces. Yeah, so I would have to have both. Number 2 is from the house of Tom Ford. The more that I've worn this, I mean, you can see how much I've worn of this. I'm gonna have to buy 100 milliliter of this. This has really deeply affected me on an emotional level. I have so many different memories of it. It's Oud Wood. It's funny because when I first smelt it, I just thought it smelled like mushroom soup. I've said that a couple of times, but damn, I moved to Scotland last year for 6 months and I actually took this with me, and I already liked it at the start. I'd already had a lot of enjoyment of it in the beginning, but now, after that trip when I just wore this constantly, I had so many different eclectic memories of it. I can't see my life without this fragrance anymore, especially in the autumn time, especially in the winter time. It really just resonates with me on a deep level, and yeah, I just think it's freaking amazing. So Oud Wood, Tom Ford, I did a great review of it. A lot of people seem to enjoy it. Go watch that. And finally, what do you think it is? What do you think it is? You know what it is. Obviously, let's not waste any time. Yep, Milis Imperial, Millie. I have no words. You already know my thoughts about it. My favorite fragrance of all time. The end. I won't waste any more of your time with it. Thank you so much. I hope you've really enjoyed this list. It's been a lot of fun. It's brought back a lot of unique memories. Fragrances to me, very much about sentimentality, very much about the memories that you create with them, very much about the experiences that you have with them, and being able to pick the right experiences with the fragrances. You can remember a lot of great things that have happened and a lot of great people. So I hope you've enjoyed this list. If you have, please subscribe to the channel if you wish to see more content like this, because I'm uploading every day at the moment, and comment, leave a lovely comment below. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this list. I'm the Fragrance Apprentice. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.